You're good. Sit up straight. Be cool. What's up, everybody? So now that the first film has been out for about a week, it's time to review what went well with that film and maybe some things that didn't go so well with that film. So if you're not here for the nerding, now would be a time to probably hit the bricks. But if you are here for the nerding, it is time for the nerding to begin. Let's get at it. Okay, so first of all, I shot the short on the Canon C70, which I'm filming on right now, the Canon R3. These are the Canon STM RF mount lenses, 35 1.8, 85 2.0, and then there's also a few shots in there kind of sprinkled in with the 24 to 105 f4. These cameras, this kit is my daily driver. That's what I use for all of my business day in, day out. So a couple things that went well, I thought. Andrew Smith, the tattooer that we interviewed, he did an amazing job. For being his first time on camera, doing an interview like that, he was poised and collected. He didn't come across nervous, and he spoke at a very kind of organic and authentic rate. And the way that he answered the questions and sort of the cadence of his delivery, there were some slight pauses between his thoughts. And that, in post, really allowed me to grab a piece from here and a piece from here and build the story on the timeline, how I really had it in mind for the film to unfold. So that was magic. That was awesome. And that's such a big part of a film like this. The narrative can make or break it. And Andrew just put us ahead right from the start with a great dialogue. So hats off to him for that. You'll probably hear me say it a million times on this channel, but one of the biggest wins, one of the things that went the best, was just the fact that I got out and made it. I mentioned it in the intro video that I get so caught up in all of the reasons why I can't make something good or I shouldn't, that just sinking my teeth into something. And I mean, the idea for this channel only really came about around the 18th or 19th of January. So a lot of the month was already gone. So to be able to get out just a few days later when we had these tattoo appointments already booked and make something, it felt good to just throw myself into something. Not overanalyze, not overplan, not come up with a bunch of reasons why I shouldn't. It felt good to just be committed to it. You know what? I'm doing this. It's happening on Saturday. On the morning of, I got up and I had 100 reasons in my head why I should just not do the film. But I did. I pushed through. I pushed those thoughts aside and we went forward. And overall, I'm really happy with how the film turned out. So if there was no other win, that's a good one. That's a good one for me that it got made. So thumbs up to that. A few other things that I thought went really well was the B-roll. I shot everything handheld that day, so there's some work to be done with the handheld filming, but the environment lent itself so much to just cool imagery. Tattoo shops have so much character. The art, the collectibles, the tattooers themselves. The environment's just so rich. It really allowed me to sort of focus in on some things that weren't really part of necessarily the get what you get tattoo process, but they still really showed the richness of the environment, and it was fun to document all of those cool little things, and even to play some of the shots off of pulling focus from a little Lego tree to someone tattooing in the background. All of those things, it felt good to be in there. A couple of the things that I thought didn't go as well, I wanted to try the 240 frames per second from the firmware update that came to the R3. I think it was a few months back anyways. I wanted to get that shot close in of the needles. That sound effect, that's pretty good. You know, hitting the skin close up, slow them down, and really be able to focus in on that part of the tattoo. There's some issues though that present themselves with filming in 240 in the R3. First of all, is 1080p footage. And I know that people will say 1080p is more than enough for almost everything on the net and yada yada yada, but it's not 4K. So I don't love that. The other thing about the 240 on the R3 is you lose the ability to film in a log profile. So the entire project, with the exception of the 240 clips, was filmed in C-Log 3 on the C70 on the R3 to give me the best opportunity to really match that color in post. When you're in 240, you can only pick from the standard profiles that are already loaded to the camera, or you can create your own kind of custom log profile by making a profile inside your camera and taking all the saturation out, taking all the contrast out, taking all the sharpening out. And people do that, but it still just doesn't compare to proper C-Log 3 footage, C-Log 2 footage. That for me is an issue. The one other sort of thing about the 240 footage that I noticed, and it's why that I wound up not using a lot of the 240 that we filmed, the tattooers were using LED ring lights to light up the part of the person they were tattooing. Andrew kind of had like he had sort of like an LED headband so that when he's looking down at everything's really lit up. And the flicker from those LED light sources with the 240 frames per second made the footage unusable. Even with the deflicker effect in DaVinci Resolve, I wasn't able to get the footage to a point where I was happy enough that the flicker was removed. I know there's some workarounds, and that's something that I'll need to learn moving forward, but I also don't know how much I really need 240 frames per second. For most of what I do, 120 is enough, and 120 allows me to retain 4K and a C-Log profile, and those things are more important to me probably than having the extra slow motion of 240. Something else that I was not super happy with, because this all came together so quickly, I didn't have as much time to plan the shoot as I probably should have or normally would have. And on a regular project, I'm always getting a shot list together. I'm always having something I can reference that I know exactly what I need to get throughout the day. And I didn't have this today. Because of that, I felt like there was a few things that I missed. The process of a tattoo unfolds so kind of wait, then this frenetic pace that gets it all done. So while that's unfolding, I was trying to think in my head, I need this, I need that, I need the ink, I need the drop thing, I need the, you know, the machine dipping into the water. But had I had that reference of a list, and maybe it would have only taken me 30 minutes to do at the coffee shop beforehand, but moving forward, I need to make sure that I dedicate the time to getting myself that list, because when I did sit down in post, I couldn't help but feel that there was a few things I would have liked to have had. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how the film turned out. I'm super happy that I got out and made something. So now the focus comes to what February's film is going to be. And I have sort of a list going on my phone of different films for different times of the year, and some of them sort of lend themselves to a different month or a different time of year. But nothing's really jumped out at February yet. So I got to get into the planning, because it's already almost a week into the month. And before you know it, it's going to be a mad dash to get something finished. So there's your review of the first film. It is what it is. I got it done. I'm happy with it. Thanks very much for being here. We'll see you soon. Oh, that was long and lame. Long and lame. Okay.